Joining us. Welcome to our pre-match press conference. If you could just start us off with some of the thoughts heading into tomorrow's game and what stands out to you about Kansas City as an opponent.
No problem, Cole. Thanks for having me as well. I think it's been a good week, obviously off the base of last game. Like we felt we had a strong performance, and we just wanted to kind of build on that going into this game. So we were focusing on like the small details on obviously to be more threatening in front of goal and create more chances. So that's been a real big focus for this week. And then obviously we know Kansas, they're a strong team. They had a really good run last year. Um, Transitionally, they're very good. They're getting the ball from one end to the other in an instant. So we've obviously focused on that, looked at ways to be able to prevent that. But they've got some dangerous players, wide area and getting crosses into the box. So we just need to make sure that we're ready to defend those and ball as long as possible so they can minimize those threats.
Great, thank you. And just a little bit of a follow-up there. You touched on Kansas City last year. Obviously, during the offseason, they made a coaching change, bringing in Chris Armas, who's now leading Kansas City. What are you sort of expecting from his team? I know it's only been a couple of games, but what have you seen from his Kansas City so far this season, and how may that influence the game tomorrow?
I think it's been a little bit, unpredictable at times. So it's obviously a different style to how they was doing it before. But obviously, still some of the same players. They've added a couple of new players, obviously with Buffon and some dangerous threats in there. So it's about, just kind of analyzing and watching the kind of tendencies. But we've seen a couple of different things. Again, like they're gonna look to set up a little bit higher, maybe in the with the four players and try to nullify our build. But it's about how we kind of occupy the spaces in between. I think it'll be a good game. It's always a good energy, high energy, intensity when we play Kansas come here, and obviously the crowd they play into that. So we're really excited to play there. We like playing here.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean. And as mentioned, if anybody has any questions, now is the time to use the raise hand function on Zoom so we can call on you. And we will head over to Sean Hartnett. Go ahead, Sean.
Hi there, Coach Harris. Thanks for speaking with us today. Shaun Hartnett, Southward Central. I just want to get an idea of what the camp has been like with Coach Amorós away. Is it a matter of everyone grabbing a greater slice of the pie and contributing more in his absence?
To be honest, it's only been one day. I mean, he was in yesterday, so it's kind of been business as usual. It's only the travel day really, so nothing really changed. And obviously, we've got a really good group here. Kind of everyone kind of knows what they're doing and what their roles are. So anticipate too much change in the way our process is kind of set up. Everything's kind of set up to kind of almost run itself, and it's just about making sure we handle the little details.
And then your experience, you've spent over 15 years, various countries, various leagues. How do you draw upon that?
I didn't know it was 15 years, to be honest. I don't know where the time goes, but I don't know. I think you just kind of, I just trying to go day by day. You kind of just keep working and working hard, always learning new things. Like having the opportunity to move around and live in different countries really helps to get a good perspective on different people, different cultures, and different styles of football. So now that I'm here, we're kind of trying to utilize that and how we can impact the team, the players, the staff, and the league. I think it's a really good ride. Obviously, there's a long way to go. I feel like I mean I started pretty early to be honest, so I feel like almost coaching is still like a long way to go in terms of what you need to learn and to grow and develop. So I'm just looking forward to it. But ultimately, it's just like I just go day by day. Put one foot in front of the other, try and work as hard as we possibly can, and then obviously try to win as many games as we can.
Great. Thank you, Sean. Next, we'll go to David.
Coach Harris, David McCauley Smith on New Jersey Sports. So I have two questions for you. The first being, do you have any updates on player availability heading into tomorrow's match?
We're still going like day by day with certain players. So like Jaden is still with us day by day. We'll see how we get on today. We've got training later, and then the rest of the players, it's kind of week by week. Like Bruno, Mandy, we're still waiting on updates on them. So I mean, it's progressing. We're moving at the pace, and then obviously we'll just kind of check in day to day, week by week.
From a coaching perspective, how was the team working to address the lack of goals, and what specifically needs to improve in the final third?
I think we wanted to make sure that we're getting in the right areas. I think that's being the biggest key, like the shot chances and quality chances that we're creating. Like, are we in the right areas to be able to make those high XG goals? So that's been the main thing. Like, winning and focus on, are we in the right areas? Are we making the right decisions? And ultimately, like, obviously scoring is the hardest part of football, but I feel like just focusing on the process, keep reinforcing the right things and the right efforts, and it's gonna happen. Like, we're not worried about the not scoring goals. I just think it's just going through that process, and once the first couple go in, I feel like it's gonna open the floodgates, and obviously the confidence builds. But it's something that we're continuously working on, continuously looking at. So it's just a day-to-day process, and we had a couple of unit meeting reviews and just really broke down certain aspects of the game and where we could improve and what we could do better. But everyone's on board, everyone's working hard, and hopefully we can see a few more goals tomorrow.
You coach.
Thanks, David. Next, we'll head over to Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan Lehman with the New York Post. Just to follow up on that idea quickly, what's an example of a better or worse area? If someone had been watching, let's say, the Orlando match, uh, a way that you could create a more dangerous chance off of that, if there's something specific that comes to mind.
Yeah, so we kind of try to focus a lot on this area on the pitch called, like, we call it like the T zone. So it's basically like the width of the six, and then imagine if you drew a T from like the goal line up to the edge of the box. That's kind of like statistically where a lot of the goals are typically scored, not just in NWSL but across globally in football. So the more we can get in those areas and taking shots, in and around the goal, that's all we get. And then that's how you get there. So how do you manipulate the opposition to be able to free up those spaces to have people arrive and then take the chances once they're in there? But ultimately, it's like, how can we get closest to the goal, more dangerous, and then how do you manipulate the back line to be able to exploit the gaps that may be left behind?
So if you score 4 or 5 goals tomorrow, are you going to tell Juan Carlos like he can't come back and it's just you from now on?
No, as much as I would love to take Juan's job, it's all his. I think we're like the team. Like I said, the team kind of, the way we've set up our process, the team does really well. Like, it functions really well. So whoever's here, whether it's me or any of the other staff, like, we're all quite capable, and Juan can come back, and I'm happy for him to resume his role.